So we're gonna start with the VR sample scene. So last time, just to kind of in the last video, we talked about Metastore, and I have a link. I'll post a link on this one too. But this is the Meta. Let's see, what is it called? The Meta dashboard or the hub. In here, you can upload to the Metastore. In the other video, we went over how to set it up all in the Metastore. Now we're doing the Unity side, and this hub is what connects you to that. So we're gonna try this one, just a sample, and the cool thing about this is that I mentioned it a little bit in the other videos that you can have your VR headset connected in here, and you can add builds from here if you want to test it and upload it, sideload it without using SideQuest and all that. This is much easier, faster, and efficient, and then overwrite the previous one, so you won't have to dig for two different versions, and you won't have conflicts. Okay, so this is the end goal, is to get to here and connect the dots. Okay, so if you download this from the Unity, the latest 2022 or higher version, LTS version, you'll download the project and you'll create a new project. I'm not going to go through that. There'll be a instruction here on this side, and it'll be step by step on what to activate, and I'll show you kind of what it looks like. You'll have to log into your Unity organization, and it'll look something like this dashboard, right? You're here, and you'll choose the specific project, and you'll activate these player authentication, lobby, relay, and I activated these because I'm experimenting with economy and stuff. But relay and the lobby system and player authentication, and I think VVox too. But see, I have Oculus authentication in here to start messing with that. And then you can see I already tested. If I go to lobby and then relay, this is the metrics. You could see that I was playing in for a little bit, testing it. Okay, so that's what you're going to be able to do, is just launch it and then be able to see the results and start tracking it as if it was a live game, right? But in the alpha channel. So you go through all those processes, you activate all the necessary things in here. Let's see, package manager or the services. So you go to services, I believe, in project settings. Hold on. If we go here, hopefully you don't reveal anything that you're not supposed to see. But here, you'll have services. See, it's connected, and I connected to my project. Hey, don't look. Anyways, it doesn't matter because these are temp projects. But here's, you would link to the project, and that's how you see stuff on the other side, right? Authentication, there's the Oculus authentication, right? Environment, Unity player accounts, if you wanna, and then VVox. See here. Oh no, it's okay because I'm not using this at all. But I'll post this so you can play with it. And I have Oculus. I don't need, because I don't want to mess with OpenXR. I usually download, what I do is download the meta stuff. Anyways, so we're in here. We have the XR set up. I didn't do anything new. I didn't set up anything new. The only thing I did change that I want you guys to know about is because the moment you upload let's say the first thing you do in these things is you change it to Android, right here. And then I'm gonna move myself so you can see, okay, right there. Right down here in the corner, player settings. In here, you'll go through and you'll change some of this stuff, Android levels, and then ARM64, make sure that's checked in. And I think they fixed the warning, because there's a warning in Meta for this, but it's just a bug, and it's fixed in the later versions. Anyways, and then in here you publish. You need a key store to publish to Meta, so make sure you use the key store manager, create your password. This is huge. Custom manifest file. Check it. The moment you check it, you create an Android manifest file. Because if you build this without creating the manifest file, and you upload it, it by default Unity automatically gives all the permissions that it needs because of the different setups that it has with the plugins, like voice chat. Needs to record your microphone, and so that's for certain permissions. But other permissions that you might not be aware of due to other plugins like avatars or meta or other things that are in this multiplayer sample get brought on, but you might not be using, right? And so it'll give you an error and it won't let you upload. And so then you're like, well, what do I do? You check on the Android manifest and this will show up. This is in plugins, Android manifest. You open that up and this is the only thing you really need. Like you can download, install, follow the guide to like activate everything. And in here, well, I have this one because they gave me a warning on Meta. So this one to allow backup so that people can't like copy your game and try to revert, like where they try to revert engineer your game. This one, it had a weird read phone state for some reason. It's probably in there somewhere. I didn't have time to look at it. I just knew this is one of the permissions that I didn't want to use. The other ones were warnings. There are other ones with VBox and stuff for voice chat, so I just left them. But in here, you need these two lines, the tools and removes. And I can put this in here. I have all these tidbits and tips in the community that I have. I built a school community to help people with this stuff like this, like all these little tips and tricks that are everywhere in developing and helping you finish a project. So anyway, so this is little information about this. Once you do that, you can go ahead and hit build, make sure it's in Android. I usually like to change the texture size so it caps it. You don't need an icon. And then you can hit build. Once you build, you'll have an APK. And where is the Oculus? Did I close it? Oculus, okay, no, there it is. So in here, right now it says version 1, and I already have version 2. I already uploaded. So this is what happens if you re-upload the same version again. I'll show you. Let me just show you because it'll give me an error. Come on, it better, yeah. See, so the APK has already been uploaded with version code 2. So I'll show you where that is at if I didn't close the window. Okay, good. In here, in the build, I don't know why I closed it. In here, the version right here, this. So every time you upload a new, you got to change it up. And there's an automatic way of like you can so it auto upgrades every time you build. But anyways, that's one of the things that you got to watch out for and make sure you do every time you build. And see, and these are all the permissions in the manifest. So if there's one in here, for example, Bluetooth connect, I don't think I need that, right? So I could remove that one. Read external, media, audio, video, like these are all crazy. But some of them have to do with Unity playing videos and stuff and media files on the canvas. So maybe that's why, projections, whatnot. All these you can take out. But so you can do one or two things. Don't use the template, and start from scratch. And as you build, keep an eye on these manifest, what plugin adds these, right? Because you don't want to have a bunch of these and then have to do like a negative and retract. So you can do either, right? So you could do after the fact, but I like to know what's what and what I'm adding to the project. So I'm just that way. And so when I do this early on from scratch, and I'll do a live stream where I do everything from scratch and do a multiplayer game and launch it with monetization and everything. And you'll see that. But I like to do that because after a while you start adding plugin after plugin and they'll add some permissions. And then when it comes to the VRC checks, Meta does want you to, hey, why do you have this? You have to have a reason. And if you can't tell reason, then you have to take it out. So it's part of the VRC checks. So I like to know ahead of time. So that way I can either leave it and know why I'm doing it, maybe because I have a voice chat or I'm doing audio moderation, and I can explain that to Meta, right? So that's one. Anyways, so that's that. But let me show you the other things. So once you have here, there's a few things that are really like gotchas until like later in your developing. You can, most of the time this will be all checked on. The channel you already chose where. You can put your release notes here. That's the APK file. Expansion OBB. So once you reach, I think it's 2 gigs, you have to split your binary, and this is where you upload it. Well, this is where you upload the OBB file, and this makes it so much easier because it'll upload the OBB file without you having to like figure out how to connect the two, right? So you have your APK and you split it with Unity, and in here you upload it. Okay. Because it won't come up until you have a huge project and like Asker Wrath or something, and you'll have multiple OBB files. And then debug symbols is huge, especially once you start getting crash errors and you have multiple plugins. So usually if you have other plugins that might be causing issues or different companies that you work with for different stat gathering on the back end, you can ask them for debug symbols to upload. And that way you can see the crash in Unity. I'll show you where in the meta store it's at. Anyway, so that's, and if you have any special sim, and then you can upload. And you hit upload and it'll be done. Okay, so on the meta end, just to show you, and then we're done, but I wanted to show you a little bit about the release channels. The release channels in here, the channel setting, because this is huge, because you can create a link to your app and auto approve people. And I'm gonna post this link in here. So you guys can, if you have a buddy or you want to test this out, I push the build and it's there. And so you can, I'm going to post a link. You can join it. You can play it. I have it up. And I don't think it'll go over. Hopefully, so don't invite 100 friends, although I doubt it'll happen. But yeah, anyways, if I have to pay, I'll close it down, but it doesn't matter. So this is a good test. I'll put the link and it'll auto invite you, and that way you can see the process of how it happens for the player. Because when I did this, I didn't know, because from a developer standpoint, it's hard because you already automatic added to this. So I want you to see the experience of the player with the auto join, because this is so much better than side loading or distributing your APK and hoping people don't do anything crazy with it. So this is a safe way of distributing your build and getting people playing your alphas. Which is huge for the beginning. Anyways, for developing at the beginning. And then later on, you'll have like, you can open up to the public. Sometimes if you don't have enough testers and you just want the public to be able to swap, sometimes they'll do it. And it's, again, less friction. And so you can have a ton of new players testing your alphas and betas, and then you can put it back to private and close it. Okay. So super useful tool. And it's so much better now. It used to be way different before. But in here, you can also change, like the version 2 didn't, had some errors. So I can roll back to the first version. That worked. Okay. Because I'm testing things and playing around with the authentication and grabbing the username from Oculus. But anyway, so here's that, the app overview. And then I wanted to show you back in the, the crash analytics overview. And here I don't have anything but like let's see, crash. And here is where you'll get the symbols and the crash report. I mean, I can show you with Cactus Jam. Hopefully I don't reveal anything that I shouldn't. Analytics, we'll go straight to what is it that I said, crash. Okay, we'll go to crash. Okay, and in here, I'll show you the crashes and why, right? And so you can go in here, the crash, if you wanted to, like for which versions, which platforms, you can do the time. And then in here, you'll see the trace, right? And it looks like gibberish. And so the better the symbol files for the debug, it will help you kind of analyze where it's coming from, or which plugin sometimes where it's coming from. Okay, so that's a little bit about uploading and a little bit too much about analytics and whatnot. But I wanted you to see the power of like just being able to connect the dots, right? Because a lot of people don't talk about this stuff, and so it's super easy, simple, takes a few seconds, and it gives you a lot. And so hopefully this helps you. And if you have any questions or if you want to know more about, and this is how it looks for the players, the alpha link. But if you want to know more and you have specific questions about anything that has to do with meta, the VR, multiplayer, economy, in-app purchases, subscription, backend, PlayFab, Photon Fusion, I can answer. Leave a comment below about what you want to see. I'm going to launch a video tomorrow that's going to be in detail on why I'm making videos in this this channel, because I want to really help people with these kind of problems, the little things that get you stuck. And I want you guys to have the best tools available to you and the tricks and tips that you need to get things going and actually get your game finished and played by other people. Okay. We'll see you tomorrow in another video, and let me know what you want to learn more about. Okay. See you tomorrow.